So it was, firstly, it was always going to be online based to start with. It was going to be e-commerce, buy through the store. Um, we that was the easiest way as a startup. The power of the internet is to be able to put something online and reach millions and millions of people. Being at being within the growth of social media, being involved in that, given my age, I knew that social media was going to be one of the biggest aspects of selling as well. Predominantly through Instagram, we grew is where we predominantly grow our brand and therefore sell through Instagram as well. We've actually now, over the last couple of weeks or so, we've now added all the extra Instagram functionality that they're constantly adding, where you can actually add products, you can tag products to post, so they can buy directly through the app now without having to go and type in and Google your name and all that kind of stuff. So taking advantage of all the extra social media stuff like that is working and is proven to be good. And then I guess the main comparison was online versus bricks and mortar. That's always a thought you have to think of when you're going into retail or going into fashion. Given the way retail and high street is at the moment, for me, it was always very important to establish a strong online presence before we start having any conversations about opening up or going down the high street route.
Have you gone down the high street route now?
No, we haven't yet. We've had a couple of conversations. We had one of the furthest conversation we had was last year, actually through one of my mentors who was was in discussions around his own store, his own streetwear store on the high street, and there was a lot of discussion around that. For various different reasons, unfortunately, it didn't happen. That's not to say it won't in the future. And we've started a few conversations again through email outreach, all that kind of good stuff, with some small niche London-based streetwear or small-based independent clothing brand stores. Albeit it's very early conversation, so it's not something that I've ruled out. It is something I have always been interested in. The dynamics are very different when you're dealing business to business rather than business to consumer. So there's a lot of extra things you have to take into consideration through stock, through pricing, through margins,
logistics,
so much extra. It's you'd have to set up a different part of the business just to run that whole operation. So it's not something that we've done yet, but it's definitely not something that we've ruled out. And at the moment, the way, especially with it's interesting given where we are with COVID as well, and how that's affected retail and in particular the high street. Whether that will change our plans, perhaps.
You talk about, sorry to interject quickly, you talked about obviously B2B being an entirely different model, but obviously you've got huge online retail stores like ASOS and others. Have you decided to go down those routes at all? Or is that something that, again, is down the B2B pipeline?
I think ASOS is, probably a good in between where we are B2C, B2 consumer, B2B online, and then B2B high street. ASOS is, that good in between, because it's that building those B2B relationships, but doing it in the safe space of doing it online. Again, it comes down to like the operations and how them as a business holds stock. There's actually been a couple of conversations in the past with online retailers like ASOS, albeit a lot smaller, who have been starting up. They wanted to start a ASOS competitor and wanted to get exclusive brands online like ours. We've turned them down for a number of different reasons, but I think ASOS as an example is a good in between, and in order to make that jump to B2B selling would definitely be a consideration before we look to jump to the straight onto the high street.
No, for sure, because essentially you've already built that online brand presence, and ASOS itself, you'll be able to translate it a lot more easily rather than straight into store. People who generally buy from bricks and mortars won't be 77 threads won't be instantly recognizable.
Yeah.